Well, after that very enthusiastic presentation by Tony Lecantro and Shay Russell, it's only fitting that we take one of Tony Lecantro's picks, that's Godolphin Resources, that's going to be here in New South Wales. And we welcome to the program the Chief Executive Officer, David Greenwood, to tell you the Godolphin story. David, over to you.
Thank you very much, Kerry, for the introduction. I'm just going to take you quickly through the Godolphin story. It's an excellent story, and I hope to summarize that in the 18 minutes or so that I'm allowed. Quickly through the corporate snapshot. Godolphin's been listed just over 12 months. We're a spin out of RDA Resources, and in that year we've made some significant achievements. Currently have about 84 million shares in issue, market cap 20 million, and a very strong balance sheet with 6.9 million cash as at the end of December. Experienced board and management. I won't go into any detail there. You can all read that on the presentation. Investment highlights. We've got a key ground holding over 3,000 square kilometres in the Lachlan Fold belt of New South Wales. A world-class district for porphyry copper gold deposits, including Cadia, Lake Carl, North Parks, McPhillamys is being developed now. Importantly, for a junior of our size, we have over 500,000 ounces of gold in resources already, over 17 million ounces of silver and base metals as well.
They'll all be sitting up now, David, because you mentioned the word silver.
I know. Well, I did that purposely, actually, with all the silver news in the last few days. So. Again, very strong balance sheet. We've got drill-ready targets. In fact, we're drilling at the moment, and I'll go into a bit of detail on that later on. This map shows our land holding in New South Wales in the Lachlan Fold belt. Can I use my cursor? Yes, I can. So here we have Boda in the north, Cadia in the south, and our land is here in red, right in between, in the Molong volcanic belt, which runs north-south here, and we have a significant land holding in this area. It's really good real estate.
Now, David, just so, because there are people that are listening today that are not familiar with things like Tomingley, Boda, and Cadia, but just to point out, these are very large deposits that are surrounding your land holding out there in New South Wales. This is a very prolific area for high-grade mineralization. Would that be correct in saying?
Oh, absolutely, Kerry. And look, this area is in the top 10 porphyry districts in the world. It's absolutely significant. Cadia is one of the biggest gold mining operations in the world. Okay, this map shows in a bit more detail. It's sort of homing in our projects now. We have 18 tenements altogether, but which is quite a lot for a company of our size. So we're homing in on key projects, and these are coloured in dark colour here. So Mount Aubrey, Copper Hill East, Lewis Ponds, and the GUNDAGAI projects about 3 hours south of here. The area, as I mentioned, world-class, great infrastructure. You've got labour readily available, only 300 kilometres from Sydney. So fantastic area to be working in. Okay, so this is the drill timeline for our advanced projects. I'm not going to discuss all our projects in today's presentation. I'm just going to focus on the key projects that we're working on at the moment. We've currently got a drill program, which I will go into more detail in shortly, at Lewis Ponds. That commenced in January. We've just finished a drill program at Copper Hill East in early January, and we're waiting for results from that. We will then plan our next drill program, and we're probably going to do an IP survey there as well. Mount Aubrey and GUNDAGAI, which are other key projects that were basically, we pushed the next work on those projects back to the second half of 2021, purely because we're focusing on Lewis Ponds and Copper Hill East. Okay, so now I'm homing in a little bit on Lewis Ponds. This map shows where we are. This is a very McPhillamys project just here to the south. We're on the same structural trend. This is the Godolphin fault that runs up here, and we're on the splay of that fault. And this is the Lewis Ponds area here. Previously, it's been looked at. Well, it was actually mined in the 1800s. It's you know, so it's had a long history, but it's never been mined in modern times. We've been focusing actually on the precious metals at Lewis Ponds. Previously, it's been looked at as a base metal project. It is a polymetallic project, so if you extracted gold here, you would take base metals with it. But by focusing on the gold, we feel that we're maximizing value. We've just announced a resource at Lewis Ponds today. 6.2 million tons at 2 grams gold, 80 grams per ton silver, 2.7 zinc, 1.6 lead, and a little bit of copper. So we've initiated a drill program, which I'll just go into a little bit more detail on now. This is just to illustrate, this slide illustrates the precious metal potential at Lewis Ponds. We went through all the historical drill holes here, and as you can see, there's some fantastic historical results. 91 meters at 2.3 gold in this intersection here, also with 80 grams silver and very good base metal credits. And the ore body hangs together really well in the vertical sense here. So fantastic potential. This is the new resource that we've announced today. I won't go into, I've just talked about all those grades that we found and tonnage. Significant amount of gold and silver, 400,000 ounces of gold and 16 million ounces of silver, and also significant zinc and lead. These sections here, basically, I won't go into detail on those, but they're just long sections showing where the higher grade values are in the ore body. This is a soil survey that was undertaken at Lewis Ponds in 2020, and it shows some strong anomalies outside the known resource. So this area here, the limestone quarry, and just to the south of there, in this current drill program, we'll be testing some of these areas which had significant gold in soil anomalies. So the drill program that we're currently involved in is it's three-pronged. It's looking at resource definition drilling to improve the confidence of our existing resource. We're going to be testing out outside the existing resource to try and add to the resource. And we're also going to provide samples for bench scale metallurgical test work.
David, it says there that it's the potential for McPhillamys style gold mineralization. If you could just explain to those who are listening, who have no idea what McPhillamys is.
Well, McPhillamys is a gold project belonging to Regis, which is just waiting for approvals, and they're hoping to get, it's fairly close to Orange. It's well located, but they've had quite a lengthy approvals process. And this is an open pit mine. It's just over 2 million ounces. So it's a significant gold project. And it will employ a lot of people locally, and they're just waiting for approvals. So they're on exactly as I showed in the previous slide, they're on the same geological structure. These structures go a long way down. They are, they permit fluids to, mineralized fluids to come to surface, and it's just a good, being proximal to that deposit is very positive, I think, for Lewis Ponds. Okay, so this is the other key project I was going to discuss today is Copper Hill East. This was a new discovery by Godolphin last year, and has been worked up over the previous 12 months. It lies on the Molong volcanic belt, approximately halfway between Boda and Cadia. Last year we delineated approximately 7-kilometer soil and gold anomaly on this property. And in the north, this gold, soil and gold anomaly coincided with very strong magnetic anomalies. And then in the south, we're finding native copper on surface here. So late last year, we implemented 2 drill programs. We tested the northern area. This was RC drilling, tested the northern area and the southern area. The southern area, it was a series of shallow holes looking for the source of this native copper. We didn't find that, and we've got to do further work there. In the northern area, we drilled straight into this magnetic anomaly, which you can see in the diagram on the right. We drilled initially 2 RC holes, and I'll come to the results in a minute. The first one of those holes hit a really good intersection for so early on in the drill program, and it was extremely positive. So we moved straight into a second drill program, and one of those 2 holes also hit a significant anomaly, significant results, which I will now move on to.
David, before you do, if you can just go back to the previous slide, or, basically the colors, again, not everybody on the call and listening, that we've got a few newbies on here. So the stronger the color, the stronger the magnetic, you can explain it better.
Yeah. So, so it's probably better demonstrated in the diagram on the right here. I can't see it properly because I can only see you here, Kerry, but just underneath there, the orange reds indicates magnetic susceptibility. So those rocks are strongly magnetic because they're full of magnetite, they're a prime area to target for these porphyry type deposits because you get magnetite alteration associated with them.
So it's an indicator of where to drill, because that is indicating that there is mineralization in those areas rather than the other sort of greeny blue colors.
Well, yeah, the greeny blue colors can be very perspective as well. So, and we will be testing some of these areas. You've just got to start somewhere. So we tested to start with the magnetic highs, and every indication is we hit big zones of pyrite and magnetite alteration, which indicates we're probably in the propylitic zone next to a porphyry. So we think there's a porphyry in the vicinity. We now have to find the mother lode as such. So the drill hole results we've had today are very, very promising, but we haven't hit the guts of this thing yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks, David.
So this is, these 2 diagrams just show you cross sections through this magnetic anomaly and where we hit gold and a bit of copper. So the first hole we got back was CHER RC12 here, and we got 32 meters at 0.3 gold and 0.13 copper from 200 meters. Now that doesn't sound like very much, but as an early hole into looking for porphyries, that was extremely encouraging. In the second program, we had a similar type of result, slightly higher gold, 30 meters at 0.64 gold, and a little bit of copper as well. We've deepened these holes now with diamond tails, and we recently got those the core samples into the lab for assay. So there should be a 4 to 6 week turnaround on those results. So that's Copper Hill. Mount Aubrey, I won't talk too much about this. This is one of our key projects. We had 2 drill programs there in 2020. This was an old BHP mine. They only mined down to 40 meters because the landholder at the time would only allow them to go that deep. So we're looking underneath. This is an epithermal type gold system. We're looking underneath and laterally to where BHP mined. We had some very encouraging results in our first 2 drill programs. I will just go on to show you those. So yeah, 22 meters at 2.15 gold, 28 meters at 0.92, 7 meters at 1.5, 3 meters at 7.5. So we're finding gold, and we've also found gold 350 meters east of the historical pit, which is extremely promising. So we will follow up on those drill results later on in this year. And then briefly, GUNDAGAI north and south. This project is about 3 hours drive south of Orange. This isn't looking at porphyry type targets or epithermal. This is more orogenic gold vein type mineralization. Again, a big historical area for gold. It was mined in the 1800s, but no, no modern mining here. We're targeting the old workings, and we've done detailed soil surveys, and we have a number of drill ready targets. We were supposed to be drilling here late last year, but when we had the discovery at Copper Hill East, we deferred GUNDAGAI until later this year. So it will get tested, but obviously we're giving priority to both Lewis Ponds and Copper Hill East. That's about it, Kerry. Just in summary, great land holding, over 3,000 kilometers squared in prime exploration and mining real estate. Over 500,000 ounces of gold, plus silver, plus base metals already in the bag. A very strong balance sheet, close to $7 million. A number of near-term drill projects. We're drilling Lewis Ponds at the moment, so there'll be continual news flow over the next few months, and we have a highly experienced board and management team. That's about it.
Thank you, David. A couple of questions. Well cashed up, so which is great. When did you list on the ASX? Remind us.
In December 2019. Okay,
so really you've done quite a lot of work at the moment. Clearly, Tony Lecantro thinks that this is a good opportunity. What would you say to investors that are out there? This is a virtual gold conference. You've been in this industry for a while. When you look at what the projects that you've got, is Lewis Ponds one of those ones which is so exciting but is going to take a little while to develop?
Well, Lewis Ponds is our most advanced project. It has a resource on it. There's quite a bit of historical drilling. But we have now recognized it as a gold-silver potential operation with base metals as byproducts rather than base metals with precious metals as byproducts. So we refocused our attention at the precious metals. I think it's an excellent project. It's a gold. We're living in a gold and silver environment at the moment, and obviously healthy prices for those metals. But I think it's a fantastic project. We only have an inferred resource at the moment, so it needs more drilling within the resource. But we have some fantastic targets outside the known resource. So I think Lewis Ponds has got excellent potential. Likewise, Copper Hill East. But Copper Hill East, people have to understand, is still very young. It's we only made the discovery late last year, and it's still very early days, but the potential at Copper Hill East is enormous, because obviously if we get onto a porphyry, then it's huge. But as far as advancement is concerned, Lewis Ponds is a much more advanced project.
You mentioned before that BHP had been doing some mining, but could only go down to 40 meters because of the landhold. Are there any issues with the landholders out there?
No, the farmer at the time didn't want them to blast, but he's passed on since then, and the farmer who owns the land there at Mount Aubrey now is he's very pro mining. He wants us to find an ore body.
Any environmental issues out in that area? I guess not, because when we looked at that slide before, you're surrounded by other mines that have got large ore bodies. Yeah, no, I mean the area here is very. You have to go through all the the strong regulations, obviously, but this area of New South Wales is very pro mining. Cadia is a huge employer in the area, and likewise the other mines around here. So no, I think on the whole, landholder issues are fine. We get on very well with all our landholders. Well, a new kid on the block doing massive amounts of work. Watch this space, plenty of news flow in 2021. David Greenwood from Godolphin Resources, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Kerry.